your mom. Don't forget to bring your maid and answer, she'll match you up. Oh, Dolly, if your eldest daughter needs a friend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maid and answer, she'll match you up.
Introductions, ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband, Ephraim Levi, always said, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short distance haulings, and varicose veins reduced.
Dolly, she's the one who's meant to bring the friend, just name the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maid and answer, she'll match him up. Dolly.
Mrs. Levi.
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Here's one of Ada Rian looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes. And if we don't get there on time...
Well, Mr. Kemper, and not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece, Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged to finding him a suitable second wife for himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband, Mr. Levi, always said, marriage is a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Boyle this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this afternoon, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stoner, whatever I'll throw. I'll see and... Oh, well, well. What do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with, only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I have some change here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
And speaking of poultry, I am also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi!
This ain't the kind of man your sister wants and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maid and answer, she'll match him up. Dolly.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. Beat around the bush, heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push. So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there, and a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced if some kind soul condescends to give her beau a little boost. So I put my hand in there, I put my hand in here. I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My plum necklace a little. When I use my fist a little, some young bride gets kissed a little. Pressure with the thumbs, matrimony comes when I put my hand in
Mrs. Levi!
I know, Mr. Kemper, the Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go buy us some tickets, get us a window seat, and order some lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, like you taught me. And I want a sign, sometime today, that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense that we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. Tired of living from hand to mouth. And so I want that sign sometime today.
Mrs. Levi!
Nothing to worry about, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train, get to Yonkers, and you'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me.
How can I be expected to play Yonkers My Yonkers with all that bellowing in my ears?
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. And in another year, I'll be an old man.
Well, I forbid it. Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, or I'll cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in the store.
I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Then, by thunder, you'll go and wait for a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oiled. Cornelius, Barnaby!
You stamped Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I've got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade. And when I get back, you're going to have a mistress.
But I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, mine. I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are. And I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's the way you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll attend to the story as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off? Marrying artists? Foolishness. 99% of people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I once was young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish. and was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. Then, my wife died, which was foolish of her. Then I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're wondering now. Why would a man with so much good sense be planning anything as foolish as getting married again? The answer is simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out and drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dress and fingers for dumping the ashes. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. The frail young maiden is constantly there, for washing and brewing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and weeding the Guernsey and cleaning the stable. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity reaches for femininity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y. Get out of here! And in the winter, she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, the who can you turn when the plumbing is leaking?
That dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife.
Oh yes, it takes a woman, a rugged woman,
To bring you the sweet things in life.
oh yes, it takes a woman,
A dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
All right, out of here, all of you.
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you've practically proposed to Erin Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. And by that I mean, you know what people said, although I for one never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to a well-known fact, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that it went so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder she made special for him and poof! But it could happen to anyone, though there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, eat out.
Now, Mrs. Levi, you mean to say that
I mean to say nothing, just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown beautiful. You should see it. Black. Well, as I said before, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in, may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Now look here, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I still intend to call on her this afternoon as arranged.
Very well, then there's nothing more for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name. Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will. Hair as shiny as a newly minted dime. Eyes as big round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can see her now.
Age 24. Height 5 foot 5 inches. Now I could arrange for you to meet Miss Ernestina this very afternoon.
I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I've got to bring my niece Ermengarde to New York until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kimber.
I can do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
Then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence! Guess who's been chosen to ride the main float, the spirit of 14th Street? Miss Money! Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi. I'll meet Miss Money at the parade, but I still intend on paying another call to Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh dear, what races you make me run. Very well then, I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30, as usual.
One more thing, Mrs. Levi. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well, I have one more name on my list. A name I know as well as my own, but let's not worry about that now. It'll come up by itself in all good time, don't you worry about it. But wait till you see Ernestina Horace, a vision, a dream.
It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in a sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dressing fingers for dumping the ash.
Yes, it takes a woman. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have this room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, come on out. We've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And in another 10 years, if I'm good, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. When am I going to begin to live, Barnaby?
You can live on the holidays, Cornelius.
Do you remember what we did last Christmas? You and I, those cans of tomatoes went bad and exploded, and you and I cleaned up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more cans of tomatoes are going to explode.
Holy cabooses, how do you know?
I'll light this candle under them. That's how I know. They'll make such a smell, customers won't be able to come in the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're gonna live. We're gonna spend our money. We're gonna be in danger. We're gonna have a good meal, and we're gonna be arrested.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing. You and I are not coming back to New York until we've each kissed a girl.
Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 28 and a half years old. I've got to begin sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway, the stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale. What do you say, Barnaby?
Oh, yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, first thing to do is to make you financially independent. I know. I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi. Painters taught how to dance.
Now there's a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note from him and we'll see if you can't have you two both entered into the polka contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a gold cup. The cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying, I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life in any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night like clockwork, down those stairs at the Harmonia Gardens we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
Well, it's the only way to show Horace Finn or Elder mean business. Now, you go to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant this afternoon and say Mrs. Levi sent you, and incidentally tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back, and I want a table for 2 and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold that candle under the ones on top. You're swollen like they're about to burst. Holy cabooses, I can smell it up here. Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to you. Out there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dime cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening there. Girls in white in our perfume night with our lights as bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a whirl, and we won't come home until we kiss the girl.
And the Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Shoot on the street and town your picture too. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look.
Beneath the parasol, the world is all as one. It makes you feel brand new down to your toes.
Get out your feathers, your pearls and leathers, your beads and buckles and bows.
For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
We're going to New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains, the lights of Broadway. Holy cabooses, a stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum. Wow, come on.
Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. So down the street and have your picture too. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath the parasol, the world is all aswan. It makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your bags and leathers, your beads and buckles and bows. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes. Beneath the colored window will a simple song. A lovely lift that makes you tilt your nose. Get out your slickers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and gloves. For there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Beauregard, stop sniveling. Don't cry on the valises. We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Lovely, you're improving. Now get all 11 pieces. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard!
Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on your silk cravat and patent shoes.
Go to restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandegelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh no, not Miss Mortimer. Again?
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie. Leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you'd like. I'll be wearing this one myself.
But Mrs. Beloy, you can't. You're a widow and that hat, well, it's provocative, that's what.
It is, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk in the shop today, and provocative may be just what I want to be.
ask this next question I'm about to ask, but I'm gonna ask it anyhow. Do you love Horace Vandergelder?
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman, as long as it's true love. And it was that. Minnie! There are two men staring at the shop. Men? Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Men in the shop? Oh, Mrs. Malloy, what should we do?
Oh, I flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, and you with all that talk about love.
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I can do with now. We'll get them all heated up, and then drop them cold. Now, you go back into the workroom, Minnie. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of a wait will only make them more nervous. And so, I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir the rainbow behind me that might happen to catch the gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long, we wander around New York and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city, and suddenly...
Vandergelder!
Is he still out there? Go look.
He's sitting on that bench. Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it all right. How much money have you got left?
Oh, not much, Cornelius. 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why?
When those women come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is to make them think we're rich. That way, we won't have to spend anything at all. We're two men about town, looking for hats for ladies. Oh, good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy!
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
We're
two
hats you
ladies
see,
about
and we
town
wanted to
looking
buy
for
a
some
lady
hats
or
to
two
be
to
worn.
Lloyd
We wondered- We want a hat. For a lady, of course. And everyone said go to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1 would leave us enough to see the whale.
You've got to pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby, and maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and scary with mean little red eyes?
Yes?
Then it's sitting on that bench.
Excuse me, but did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Why, yes, ma'am, Yonkers. And forgive me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers sometime. And by that I mean perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow. Oh, that's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have loved Yonkers, especially in that hat. Oh, and you, of course, not him. May he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be delighted to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Will you?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps I do.
Oh, it's always so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Of Vandergelder's Hay and Feed?
You know him.
Oh, no.
Mr. Vandergelder is a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Lovely man, Mrs. Malloy, just lovely. He's only one fault, as far as I know. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think...
Now, I wonder if your friend might like this one.
Look out! Pardon us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Help us, Mrs. Malloy. We'll explain later.
I insist that you both come out of there at once.
We're as innocent as can be, Mrs. Malloy.
Oh, really? Mr.
Is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here's a present. Chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men, Mr. Van Gelder. What would men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Well, now, let's go back into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Well, Mr. Van Gelder, what is new in the hay and feed business? I understand you have 3 friends all hard as nails,
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody, a friend.
What friend?
Well, you see, a customer. Mr. Van Gelder, someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. Perhaps you might even know him, although it's always foolish to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Why, yes.
He happens to be my head clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't you know Cornelius Hackle? Everybody knows Cornelius Hackle. He's at the opera in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35. I keep it in my own safe.
Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The Erie. Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. Who fed the hungry and the destitute? The Cornelius Hackle. He's the finest young gentleman in all New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were as taken with him as everybody else.
Holly, what do you...
Of course. Thank you. Thank you. But there's a man in there.
Now look here. If there's a man in that closet...
No! Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man that hides in ladies' closets can scare me, Mrs. Levi. Stand aside.
No man indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man, those muscles. I can see them now rippling back and forth under your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you please stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. That's exactly what the court will want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, Sir Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on that Gettysburg? Meet that great triumphal launch. If you see him as he's tramping through the graves of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here as an immigrant girl at 14 years of age from the lands that oppressed my people. And I must echo here what was said by the great and patriotic American,
Moses!
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, Sir Brothers, Tuesday Eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? Lead that great triumphal march. If you see him, Dixie and the sugar cane, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, Sir
you see, Mr. Vanderbilt, there couldn't possibly be a man in this closet.
Achoo!
God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy.
All right, Mr. Vandergelder, there is a man in that cupboard.
Aha!
And another one under that table.
One tarnation?
And there also happens to be a very simple explanation. But for the present, good afternoon.
Good heavens, this whole room's just crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, please, I can explain everything.
I do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just for you and Mr. Tucker to do me the pleasure of leaving my hot shop at once, or I will send for Officer Gilgarty.
If you ask me, Irene, calling an officer is letting them off too easy. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got the grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnichet. Now, the main thing is to show that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnichet afterwards.
Well, if it must be. Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a very nice restaurant in the railroad station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, then it is good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
Oh, no, we couldn't go there. Now, it isn't the money or anything like that. It's
It's the whale!
It's the whale. No, it is the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, they have dancing in a place like that. Exhibitions, even contests, and I don't know how. It would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 28-and-a-half-year-old chief clerks, taught her to dance.
Now, it's simple. You put one on here and the other on here.
It's no use. I have no sense of rhythm.
Well, absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing in the streets. We'll start with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Now it's simple. Right foot, touch, left foot, touch, under, back, around, touch, back, through, around, behind, out, over, release, 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 unfurl. That's wonderful. When I think of the lucky women who will find heaven in your arms. Let's start with lesson 1, shall we? Put your hand on her waist and stand with your right in her left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Look, I'm dancing. Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing.
Turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
Well, the word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop? Look at me, everybody! I, Cornelius Hackle, sport and dancing!
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide
I'ma join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Well, whatever you do, for God's sake, keep breathing.
My heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? Dance, dance,
When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Although he just said hello, there's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music leave a spell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when this night's been blurry.
As a rolling around you, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? been long enough. Every evening for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum toddy, and before I went to bed, I said a prayer. Thanking God that I was independent, and that nobody else's life was mixed up with mine. And then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized that I was like that oak leaf. For all these years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so, I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by. I've never been through a parade.
Mrs. Levi, come along. Cornelius is taking us down to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
When I read, you're crying.
Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm going to move out in front. I've had enough
on. Don't move, Miss Money. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Hey, what are you doing? That's my fiance. Stop, thief. Mrs. Levi, what's the meaning of this?
Nothing to worry about, Horace. That lady is not Miss Money. Mrs. Money had a sudden urgent business appointment at the Mint. They ran a little short, so she's helping out. But she'll still meet you at the Harmonia Gardens at 8 o'clock tonight.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And well, it should be. What food, and the fastest waiters in New York. By the way, I may be a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant. Wait till you see her, Horace, all up in buttercup yellow with baby pink shoes, and humming a sweet old-fashioned tune. Yes, sweet Rosie O'Grady. You couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly, but only because I already paid for the introduction, and I might as well get my money's worth. But from this point on, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Dolly Gallagher, you are just a woman, like anyone else.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton, before the parade passes by.
Cornelius, we've just loved looking at the lights of 14th Street for these past 4 hours. But now perhaps we better call a hack, or we won't get to the Harmonia Gardens in time. Oh, look, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
Oh no, we couldn't do that. Now it isn't the money or anything like that. It's just that really elegant people never take hacks anymore.
Hacks is out.
They all go by streetcar.
J.P. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Well, then by all means, streetcar.
Imagine, just think, I've been elegant my whole life and never even knew it.
Of course, if you really want to be elegant,
We do.
you walk. Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it off.
All who are well-bred agree many fair has pedigree.
Exercise and wild rooms tonight. We are out with wine and gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us. We got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of its savoir-faire.
Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us inside?
Why, yes, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby? Mrs. Malloy, as we start inside, may I...
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
May I...
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
May I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
I don't want to be on the stage. I just want to get married.
You heard Mrs. Levi. This is the only way to show your uncle that we mean business. Now, can you wink a little faster? You're throwing me off step. Faster. That's it.
Rosie O'Grady, my sweet little rose.
Und it is my order as head waiter of the Harmonia Gardens restaurant and your supreme commander that tonight, of all nights, our usual lightning service will be twice as lightning as ever, or else. Cost a bit more, but they do afford the best view of the entertainment.
$1.40, Cornelius. That's all that's left.
Are you sure? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
Oh, I did make a mistake, Cornelius. It's only $1.35. I'll count it again.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
And who do you think I am? Only it's Horse Vandergelder party. She's in my party. I ain't in hers.
Mr. Vandergelder, of course, it's just... Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about bringing your...
My personal physician. That's enough rouge, doctor.
But Mrs. Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
And pâté maison, soup de jour, and pomme soufflé.
Why didn't you tell me this was a French establishment? Oui, oui, monsieur. Bring me a baguette. Now get out. Now, this money. I understand you carry a respectable sum in your belt.
Yeah, $2.
care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
Oh, I really couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great grindstones, what a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of water, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Cornelius, now I know how you keep having New York and stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say, why the closed curtains? Are you ashamed or something?
It's not that. I just felt a slight chill.
Why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now, let's order something to hold us until the baguette comes. Waiter! Would you bring us a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some lady fingers? Now, what'll you have?
Wait a minute, no wine.
No wine?
Champagne.
Champagne!
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne, and Neapolitan ice cream, and hothouse peaches. And Barnaby, give the band leader a nickel, and tell him to play to a wild rose. We want music while we dine.
Isn't it? Let's dance.
The Vandergilders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, I'll dance myself. Give him $2 for the band leader, will ya? And tell him to play something refined. I'm going to do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band, but promise you'll order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money. I'll tell them to play a nice waltz. you give this to the band leader and tell him to play a waltz.
Here's a nickel for the band leader. Would you tell him to play a...
Get me out of here!
Miss Money!
And 2 more pheasants, please.
Cornelius!
My purse!
My wallet!
Here, you, that's my purse.
Excuse me, but that's my wallet. I know it's my wallet because there's nothing in it but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies. Cornelius, Cornelius! Did you say 2 pheasants? 3, 4 pheasants. Pheasants for the house. And never mind if I don't see the whale. I'll buy my own.
Sir! Sir! What's this? Shouting? How many times do I have to tell you not to shout, boy? This is the Harmonia Gardens restaurant, not one of those.
But sir, the lady, she's here.
What? Are you sure, boy? Just like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock, I post the carriage on the dot, and out steps a tall lady with red hair, with the biggest handbag I've ever saw. It's her, Mrs. Levi, she's back.
Rudolph, is it true? I heard someone laughing outside the kitchen window and it sounded like...
It's Dolly. Fritz, tell Savannah she just pulled up in a carriage.
Rudolph, it's true, no?
It's true, yeah? She just pulled up in a white and gold carriage, pulled by 6 black horses with scarlet plumes.
Ah, Rudolph, it is like old times again.
It's Dolly, it's...
Sir! Rudy! She's here!
Hello, Harry. Well, hello, Louie. It's so nice to be back home where I belong. You're looking swell, Danny. I can tell, Manny. You're still glowing, you're still crowing, you're still going strong. I feel the room sway for the band's playing one of my old favorite songs from way back when. So bridge that gap, fellas, find me an empty lap, fellas, till you'll never go away again.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly. We can tell, Dolly. You're still growing, you're still growing, you're still going strong. Feel the room swaying, for the band's playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. So
Dolly? Dolly Gallagher? What are you doing in that get-up? And you're half an hour late. And I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina.
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie-coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Whereas I'm going to have our table move right down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What she wanted? A chicken. Now see here, Mrs. Levi. About this hoochie-coochie girl.
Did you say a chicken? Oh, I don't think I could face a chicken. Not a chicken. Not tonight. Not after what's happened.
Good. Then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing. Just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always wanting to know everything. Always putting your nose into other people's affairs. Why, anybody who married you would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who married you.
Horace Vanderbilt, or get that idea right out of your head this minute. I'm surprised you even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
I certainly hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way, and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts unshelled. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
I certainly do hope not. But if I ever was to remarry, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. However, we won't discuss it any longer. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Mr. Vandergelder Rudolph. Here's some white meat for you, and giblets, very tender and very good for you. No, as I said before, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Have a drink. I think you'll feel better at once. However, before we change the subject, there is one more thing I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say before I forget all about it. It's true. I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things, but I wouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well. Let's not say another word about it. Have some beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets.
That's good. No, Horace. A complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like yours is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age? You're always talking about my age.
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that if youngers with bad food and a bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets. They're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
That's nice. Now dig right in. Yes, the pity of it is you would be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you. You can't hide it. Now sit down and let's discuss something else. But before we change the subject, there is one more thing I am going to say.
I don't want to hear it. And you're wasting your time, Dolly Levi. I won't ask you to marry me.
Well then, I suppose that means you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace. I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me cut your wings.
I don't want my wings cut. I've got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
You can't go now. The competition's about to begin.
Here's the money for dinner. Here's 20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button. This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
Possible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
It's Vandergelder's. Cornelius, we gotta get out of here.
What am I gonna do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Horace, it's the latest thing, a polka. And there's one dancer I particularly want you to see. Rudolph, move our table right down front so Mr. Vandergelder can better observe his graceful movements.
Right there. We gotta go.
We will go, but we'll dance our way out.
Inciting to riots, disturbing the peace, and several other equally serious charges of violations of the law of this city. Do you have anyone here to speak on your behalf? I say! Do you have anyone here to speak on your behalf? Mrs. Dolly Levi, Counselor at Law.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Rest? We can't rest. We have
No! There is no need to call witness, ladies and gentlemen, when I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose. I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Would you turn your head this way a bit, Your Honor, so that we may get a better look at your beacon? symbol for the motto of this great land, E proboscis unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit, Mr. Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly?
The one man responsible for these grievous charges of willful destruction of private property,
A curtain torn, a veta bruised, and a solid gold cup bent.
Oh my.
and cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Mrs. Levi, if it pleases the court, I have something to say.
I was just about to call on you, Mr. Hackle. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Vandergelder.
I'll do it again.
You've done it again too, but even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I have to say. I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting a riot, but I do know that what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that can ever happen to a man, would never have happened if I stayed in Yonkers, New York and followed your orders. I, of course, am talking about none other than love.
What? Are you trying to say that after 28 years, you've fallen in love because you take one evening off?
Oh no, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of the city in an evening, an hour. Even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second.
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? Just yesterday, I sat cooped up in Yonkers, and wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were walking around New York, and I didn't know them at all. Can you see from where you're sitting? The way her eyes, forehead, and cheek come together up here? I tell you, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you like about the pyramids or Niagara Falls, but they aren't in it at all. Of course, I've seen women before, but today I've talked to one equal to equal, and they're so different from men. Awfully mysterious, too. Bet you can know a woman 100 years without ever really being sure whether she liked you or not. Today, I've lost so many things. My job, my future, all things that people say are important, but I don't care. Even if I had to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I'd be a ditch digger. Once had a wonderful day.
Oh, I seem to have missed a couple words back there, Mr. Hackle. Right after it only.
Takes a moment, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes
all that love's about.
When time runs
That it only took a moment to be loved a whole life long.
Dismissed. Dismissed. All of you are dismissed. Be free. All of you except Mr. Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York. Be free, my children. Go. Bless you. Go.
You may see the prisoner now, Mrs. Levi.
Well, Horace, that's your life. Without knees, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. It looks like there's only one more thing left to say.
If you're gonna ask me to marry you, Dolly Levi, never. Not in a million years. Under no circumstances will I ever marry you.
Well, it wasn't that at all. All I was going to say was, goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Hold on, Dolly.
It's too late. I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say.
Wait.
But
Hey.
goodbye, 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 goodbye. Don't try to stop me, Horace, please. With your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, you ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't you come a-knocking at my door. For I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says you don't. I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie, should have said so long ago. Because you treated me so rotten and rough, I've had enough of feeling low. So long, dearie, dearie, should have said so long ago. I can hear that choo-choo calling me on to a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on board that Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to dance and drink and smoke a cigarette. I'm going as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get. And on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to that old cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a-knocking, I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says you've done. I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you were the last woman on earth. Not if you asked me 1,000,000 times. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. Dolly Levi, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly!
You stand, Mr. Van de Gelder?
What? Oh, so it's you. Come crawling back, have you?
No, Mr. Van de Gelder. I've come back for my $146.35. You see, I decided to go into business for myself. And since the only business I know is pay and feed, I'm opening my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect place, Mr. Van de Gelder, right across the street from you.
Oh, so you think you can compete with Van de Gelders, do you? Well, just you try. Another one come crawling, is it? What do you want?
My back salary for the past 4 months, $6.12.
You can't do that to me, any of you. All go to the courts, all get lawyers, all.
Why, Horace Van der Gelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't handsome in that outfit. So few men nowadays have the courage to wear fun yellow and taupe.
Dolly Gallagher.
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have one more girl for you, the ideal wife, but don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something? What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.35.
Plus $6.12 of mine.
And the money my mama left me, $52.48.
38. 48.
And I can take that money.
All right. If it's money you want. The safe is upstairs.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna open this Cornelius and your store. Am I gonna get it ready? Sure.
Money. Mr. Van der Gelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Mr. Van der Gelder is never tired of saying that most people in this world are fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself, we're all fools in danger of destroying this world in our folly. And the shortest way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in this world. And that costs little money. The difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little money and no money at all is very slight. And that can shatter the world too. It's all in how you use it. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, always said that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Anyhow, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Van der Gelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Sir? Well, don't just stand there. Get to work.
Well, as I was saying, Horace, I found you the ideal wife.
Dolly, I don't want you to find me the ideal wives. If I want an ideal wife, I'll find her myself. And I have. And it's you, Dolly.
Why, Horace.
I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman. But Dolly, forgive me and marry me.
Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen of Yonkers. And your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me, am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, it wouldn't be enough for you to load your wife with money and jewels to ensure she'd be a benefactress to half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open up a shop right across the street from you. Better take him back and let him be your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius, old dog.
I see here, Dolly.
That way we can all dance together at Ermengarde's wedding.
You've gone too far, Dolly. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how. It'll take me weeks, months, years to learn. to work.
Horace Vandergilder, what is going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have this room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace,
I know the old paper ain't worn out yet, but that fella just set up in business and needs a good start. You see, Dolly, I've always felt that money, pardon my expression, it's like manure. It's not worth a thing unless...
thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you. Dolly, life was awfully flat and more than that was awfully wrong.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at. Horace, Dolly, I'll never go away.
Wonderful woman.